I am live on Facebook right now, and I'm live here with an awesome seller, and I'm super excited about this. Guys, those of you in Amazon Seller Tribe, you never know what name I'm going to appear under anymore. Apparently, this is Gary Ray's Zoom account, and so I'm appearing as Gary Ray tonight, which most of you people know I'm not Gary Ray. So anyways, I'm going to rename myself while I introduce our valued tribe member tonight that's going to be a part of something really exciting. So did you hear that, Brandon? Did you hear it? Tell it?
Yeah, I'm going to continue on my end.
Why is it talking to me? I don't know. Okay, we're recording this, Brandon, for posterity, because you're going to look back on this a couple of years from now and go, oh, that was just little stuff. I'm already zoomed way over here.
The good old days.
The good old days. So guys, just want to welcome to the webinar tonight, our valued tribe member, Brandon Mizell. So Brandon, I got kind of a fun story about how I met Brandon. Number one, I met him at the Tribe 4 coaching round that we did. We did a live meetup in Kentucky over by Gary and Joe's place at the Corvette Museum. Brandon, do you remember that awesome place?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Lots of good things happening. And I remember that, and we didn't even have it planned, but we did kind of an impromptu where we had another valued tribe member had really been through a lot, had really, rose to great heights and then ended up having a crash. And there were some things in there, some themes in his story that we really wanted people to hear. So we ended up bringing Nate Slusher up on the stage, and he did such a fantastic job talking to the people, just impromptu. Now later we're over at Gary's house and Joe's house for the afterglow, just kind of our just real casual. I think you were out back somewhere. I was exhausted and laying on one of the couches practically. And you came in the room so excited, so energetic, and you sat down on the ottoman and you said, that guy out there just changed my life. That guy out there just changed my life. And it was Nate Slusher you'd been talking to, and just the information that he shared, the things that he shared just really was pivotal to you. And I'll never forget how excited you were that you had had that moment. And that really reiterated for Gary and I how these tribe meetups can be so hugely valuable. And then you said something else that I will never forget. You said, yeah, my wife's about to have a baby. She's already dilated to a 4. And Colleen and I looked at each other and we're like, get out of here. Go home. Where do you live? And you're like, about 10 hours drive from here, something like. We're like, leave, go. And you're like, nah. Tell me the rest of the story now.
Yeah, I was like, it's only number 4. I mean, at this point, no. So I was really contemplating on even going to the meetup in the first place. And so because I knew that, the due date was soon. So my wife, she's super supportive. She does the nitty gritty part of the business that no one likes, that's what she does. But so she texted me and she's like, and she knew that I would kind of felt a little guilty if I did go. So she texted me and she was like, just want you to know that I really do think you should go. And she was just really, reassuring me that she supported me if I did decide to go. So, my wife and I, we have a really lighthearted relationship. And so I just texted her back, okay, no problem. And so she gave, she responded with not so nice words. But yeah, so it was super reassuring, that, I almost didn't go to that meetup. And
right.
It was
But
nice.
it ended up you had plenty of time. Tell us why.
Yeah, we had like a solid 4 days before she gave birth, you know.
You had plenty of time to drive home
Yes.
leisurely, and then you had plenty of time to be there for the birth of your 4th child, who ended up weighing in at,
Either 10 or 11 pounds, something like that. I want to say 10 pounds.
it was 10
Yeah.
pounds, almost 11
Yeah,
pounds.
10-8. Yeah.
Every single woman in tribe, when we made the announcement, went, "Oh my gosh." And at that moment, we invented a medallion that we're going to present to your wife the next if we ever get to meet her face to face. She's going to get this massive medallion for bringing forth
She
that
deserves it.
man's man that you've got there now.
Yeah. We've
So
had has weighed more and more.
yes, yes. And so we have a lot of fun in tribe, and we end up getting all up in people's lives too, because it's just fun to watch bringing in children and growing children. That was our first tribe baby from you, right? Because the other
Correct.
3 you guys had, and you weren't a member of tribe yet,
Right.
so we couldn't quite claim them. We can't give them an enrollment number like we can this massive, you know, warrior you brought forth. But anyway, we're here tonight because you ended up joining Amazon Seller Tribe, and I think you heard about us from some other really valued tribe members. And I want you to tell us how you got into Amazon selling, then tell us how you came to tribe, and then we're going to get into something that's super fun.
Yeah. So I learned about selling on Amazon probably beginning of 2018. I was outside sales, and had a very solid income, and high 6 figures. And this guy that I met, that I had known, never actually, still to this day haven't met him in person, just a guy that I know just through online. He was telling me about him selling some yachts that he's getting from China, and he's selling them on Amazon. And I'm like, what? You crazy dog? What are you doing? so,
Kind of the
so
Alibaba style of
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. That was his, he was like, yeah, go listen to these podcasts, these guys, they lay it all out for you. And so at the time, I'm like, no, I'm good. My work-life balance is good. Like, I'm not looking for any additional income right now. And so, but there's this other friend of ours who lives in Canada who was very intrigued, and he actually got it started. And so I got to I know them through like playing video games,
Right.
And so we played these games throughout the year, and he would always report back to me his numbers growing, and he was like, we did 10,000 this month, and then fast forward 6 months later, oh, we're doing 30,000, and I'm like, what? So, but I'm still not ready to join,
Right.
So I was doing really well in the company that I was at, and so I was growing that territory. And I've always been kind of entrepreneur, and just kind of always wanted to do some more than what I was doing. But for that whole, because my take on corporate America is, but so they wanted to divide my territory up and put more reps in and saturate my territory more. And so I had grown this territory from scratch, and I kind of, had kind of pushed back a little bit. And so I'll never forget, it was August 1st of 2018, they fired me.
Wow.
And
Thank you very much, corporate America said.
It hurt, it was probably the lowest moment of my life, with 3 kids, my wife didn't work.
Wow.
And it was definitely scary, we're kind of fiscally responsible. And so, I had some items that I sold, and, to help us kind of, but, they denied us unemployment. Like, we didn't get anything. And so I went basically 6 months from August 1st of 18 to, looking every day, but medical sales is kind of more of a highly competitive deal, and so we went 6 months with no income. no job, no. So during that whole time, while I'm jobs, I'm seeing my friends just their sales are growing, and so I
Gotcha.
start talking to them a little bit more serious about it. And so that's when I took to YouTube, and I started doing my homework. And I'll never forget it. My dad actually put us up in a hotel in Pensacola Beach on New Year's Eve of 2018, going into 2019.
Mm.
And that it was actually just the first night that we were able to get away. No kids, and my wife, she was asleep by 8 o'clock. She was
Yes.
like recuperating. And and I took to YouTube. I'll never forget. I watched YouTube all night, and I watched this Amazon FBA thing all night. Just watched every video I could possibly watch. And so, I just started doing my homework and decided I was going to, start. I was like, as soon as I get a paycheck, I'm going to start. I don't have anything to spend at the moment, but as soon as I get a paycheck, I'm going to start something. So the last thing that I let go of, I had to basically sell all of my toys and everything that I had. The last thing that I let go of was I had a 200-gallon saltwater aquarium, and it was, reef tank. So it was pricey. I sold that and started my Amazon business with the proceeds from that sale.
Nice.
So I sold it for $2,000.
Wow.
A trailer for $1,000. May have been 1,500. I don't remember. And then with whatever money I had left over, I took to Goodwill and Salvation Army and thrift stores and started buying books. Started buying used books.
You did what you knew to do. It was
right.
available to you. You did what you knew to do. You took action on something. You could have sat there and said, I'm not going to do anything until I understand everything.
Right.
But you took action on something.
Right. And so I had some problems with the used books. I had a day job, and I was a new employee, so I didn't want to use too much of a company's time to go out. So by the time that I was free to go to the thrift stores, they close at 5 and 6.
Right.
And so I didn't have a lot of time to do the sourcing and everything, and to be able to scale it to what I wanted to.
Sure.
So we made this transition to doing more of a bulk model, where I approached a thrift store chain and started taking this trailer that I bought, and I'd go haul 2 Gaylords a week, and of course getting a Gaylord of books off of a trailer without a payment. Like it's ridiculous. Like looking back at what I did was,
you were in the hustle, and you weren't afraid to hustle because you were getting a hold of something that could change your life. This is so admirable. So many people nowadays won't just get in the hustle. They won't just get in there and just work the work and sweat the sweat.
When you say get in, we literally got in. My wife, I got pictures.
No, I've been in Gaylords of books.
Yeah. My wife, she'd be in the Gaylord of books. So you'd see the books chucking over the back. She's throwing the duds behind her. They're flying in the garage. And so, I got this Gaylord stacker. I could put 12 Gaylords in my garage. Now we're, in a subdivision HOA, like just
right.
Like 12 Gaylords. And then that got to a point where we outgrew the garage. And so, and that was basically the first year we got to, so it took us about that first year to get to that point. I think the first year I did 93K.
Oh, nice. In books.
In books, 93K books first year, bulk books, average sales price of around $12.
For this book.
Exactly.
It's huge. It's just not a volume, it's not really a volume business, is it?
I tell you though, I still never really saw that needle move. I didn't understand numbers. I didn't understand anything. I just knew that to go through these motions.
Right.
So in January, February-ish of 2020, we decided to get a warehouse.
Gotcha.
So we got a warehouse, and I got a forklift, and we're gonna, spend a lot of time getting this thing ready. It had a little office in there, so my wife could bring the 3 kids. It had like
nice
a little playroom. She was gonna scan books, and I was gonna do the day job.
Right.
She was gonna, and that was not a great decision.
What was hard work?
It was hard work, and her time is split between trying to scan these books and there's a kid potty training, so that, you know, you
Sure,
got
sure, sure.
accidents.
It's hard. You know what?
Yeah.
Mamas are awesome. You know, these mamas of young kids, I got huge respect
Uh,
because these
yeah, it's,
are
I don't know how she does
multitaskers.
it. So, when was it? March or so, when Amazon stopped taking inbound shipments.
Right.
So that was, so about 2 weeks before that, we got our first full truckload of books. I bought 48 Gaylords, and it was like the
Wow.
biggest purchase that I had made yet. And, you know,
Wow.
and so we had all these books. Turned out that it was a very bad load. You know, they weren't the greatest books. And the ones that we did scan, we couldn't even send in because Amazon had just
Right.
shut it
They
down.
just shut
So
everybody
we were in a bit of a predicament. You know, we just had this
Wow.
fresh warehouse, new overhead, and so we ended up sending all the books to Thrift Books. You know, they bought them pennies on the dollar. Just got out. We basically shut it down. We shut down the warehouse, and we pivoted to dog food. I'll sell dog food. Sold the mess out of some dog food in March. You know, so
come on. Look, I thought, see, I thought it was amazing that you said we pivoted to, you said, shut everything down. And then you said we pivoted to. Here's what most people do. Shut everything down. The end.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Come on. You were tribe before you even knew what tribe was. You got tribe spirit, boy. You do.
Yeah, even before, well, even just a quick, before then, I had actually joined the tribe earlier in 2019. And, you know, I didn't see the value.
Because you were doing books.
Yeah, I was doing books, and
Right.
there's like, well, this isn't my, you know, this isn't even my model.
Bailiwick. Right.
So I quit, you know, quit tribe. And I remember I actually skipped a pretty important part of the story, but I remember messaging Gary my first go around in tribe. And I was like, you know, big man doing 10K a month, you know. I'm looking at your training. I'm trying to decide between your training or another person's training, which was $5,000, you know, and I didn't. So I actually went with the other person's training.
Oh, Brandon, oh no.
And it was a terrible decision, I will tell you.
Oh, sweetie pie. Oh no.
Yeah, lost the $5,000 basically. I mean, I barely got anything out of that whole deal.
Oh, sweetie.
But I found my way home.
Come on. Come on.
So, you know, still talking. So that was around that was Q4 is when, you know, so I joined whenever I missed Tribe 3 because I did the other.
Right.
And then when Tribe 4 came around, I was talking to good old faithful Robert Brown, you know. That guy's done it for me more often than not. Every day. At the point he answers the phone like tech support, you know, like so he was telling me
rock.
He was really, yeah, really is. But he was telling me how he's like, yeah, I'm going to take Tribe 4. I took Tribe 3, but I'm going to also take Tribe 4. I'm like, what is this dude? This guy has 4 kids himself, is full time, wife isn't working, supporting his family off this Amazon business. I mean, this guy has got it going on, and he's taking another round, like a repeat. What? So I'm signing up for that, you know, and then talking about the jump. So that these guys are full time, and they just keep for this training over and over again. It's like, what's so special training that these people keep signing up for? They want the same information over and over again. So yeah, exactly. Well, then you learn, then you get in that tribe ecosystem, right? And they're like, you know, little hinges swing big door. Okay, well, they're not joining these trainings to have the C split. You know, they just looking for that one little thing, that Nate Slusher conversation at 10 o'clock at night, you know. And so, you know, so I joined, you know, Tribe 4, and we had ran into some pretty good bolos in early 2020. A lot of the same stuff that everybody else was on,
right.
But
right.
But I had a really good April and May, because I was just all in on, you know, finding this one bolo. And I had no system in place I think we did over like 120 grand one of those months. But the next month, because we didn't have a system in place, I didn't even clear 5 grand in sales in
Gotcha.
June.
Yeah.
And so I knew there was a piece missing. Like I saw the potential of Amazon, but I didn't really have a system in place to follow up, after a hot bolo or anything like that. So,
Right. Right.
so then,
Because, as Gary says, often, your business is not really built on one home run occasionally. It's built on base hits all the time.
right. But it was a great opportunity. That one season was
Yeah,
really,
that was sweet.
that was nice. That put a little bit, I paid off my student loans off of that,
God,
so
I remember that.
yeah. So that was like the biggest accomplishment of 2020. I was able to get the $20,000 student loans paid off.
So
One check, gone.
So good.
But yeah, so after joining Tribe 4, I really was able to learn the system. Like it's crazy. Like it blew my mind. Tribe 4 absolutely blew my mind. Like I had no idea how these systems integrate and combine, and so now when second go around, seasonal items, second go around, now there's a system in place, and it's crazy that you can see the difference and how it all like comes together, and you've got that buffer to make up for some unusual return like that. Whereas if you just, I don't know, it's just like it's a night difference this year between this year and last year. So
And one of the things that when you kind of learn to know what you don't know and build those systems, even just the system of thinking correctly, thinking rightly, about approaching business. Once you build that in yourself and in your business, then you kind of move out of the hustle mode more into the business management mode. And that can take a load off of you, especially you young men who are raising children right now.
The last probably 2 months have just, the business has really just taken on its own. It's like it's crazy. We now have 2 preppers. I've got 2 OA buyers, and I got a VA. And just the VA, holy smokes! Like I was doing all that administration. I didn't even realize what all I was doing until I stopped having to do it. And so it's just another. I think I heard Gary. Well, Robert was telling me Gary had said, made a comment at the meetup saying it's basically like a cash register, or an ATM machine, and you just keep that ecosystem going. You just keep rolling that back into the business, and it just, cash flow. It's a crazy cash flow business, and so I love it. I'm addicted to it.
Well, you're addicted in a good way, if I might add. Let me do a quick screen share here, and let me show you folks, and I want you to rejoice with me over his addiction. Brandon, can you see the results of your addiction?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. 1 million smackaroonies. Are you kidding me? In the last 12 months. What a beautiful thing. Look at this, 156 FBA or FBM orders. Dude, what are you talking about? All right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So let me just ask you, when you started in Tribe and you started hearing about people hitting those $1 million sales levels, what were you thinking? What was in your mind?
Hearing other people hitting them, I definitely, I tend to compare myself, which I know is not a great trait. Compare myself to others rather than compete. You always hear compete, don't compare. But I tend to compare, and so it does. For me, it did kind of discourage me a little bit. Like, man, what are they doing that's so special? Like, why are they able to do it and I'm not? And that's it fuels me to want to be able to, because I have that, anything you can do, I can do better kind of mentality. Like if you can do it, I can do it, and so it's at one hand, it kind of discouraged me because I knew that I wanted to do it, but I didn't have like the patience, I just knew that if I stuck with it, it would.
Or the pieces, where's that missing?
Yes, like what are they doing so special? And then you join a daggum tribe and you find out.
When you joined the tribe coaching, you were like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it
Okay,
changed
now,
everything.
yeah, I
Just
get it.
between the networking with crews and just bouncing ideas off of each other, it's just the whole thing, the package deal
Mm-hmm.
is special. It really is, you know.
So, Brandon, can you see why I'm sitting here in front of these plaques right now? This is Tribe 1 coaching round. The very first coaching round Gary did. We beta tested it with 40 members. Well, you can see the second coaching round he offered it doubled. The third coaching round he offered it doubled from there. The fourth coaching round was 50% higher than the third coaching round, which was almost more than we could get on that plaque. The fifth coaching round is 50% higher than that. I don't even know where I'm going to put the plaque of all the names of the people who've enjoyed this kind of success, who have grown their business. You know, I remember Debbie Spencer the other day, she posted, she said, every tribe coaching round that I do, I've grown my business by $500,000.
Oh
You
wow.
know, that's some pretty significant growth. And
Yeah.
a lot of it's just finding what are those pieces, just as you said, you're like, I know I can do this. And how many times have you heard me say it, Brandon? If a menopausal grandma can do it, you can do it.
That's right.
Right. So you're like, Gay's nothing special. I know if she
Right.
can do it, I can do it. Gary said so many times, I'm just common as cornbread. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But you do have to know some of the pieces and you got to know what you don't know. And
That's right.
that's why the coaching rounds have been so much of a blessing to our members. Um, and that being said, being a blessing to so many of our members, you have been a blessing to so many of our members. It was a blessing to me when you came in full of energy and enthusiasm, and the light bulbs were coming on when you were at the Kentucky meetup, and things were really starting to blow and explode in you because you knew success was in your grasp at that moment. It was a blessing to me. Um, it's also a blessing to me how you weigh in on posts from time to time, how you share things, you know, in the tribe coaching rounds, sharing bolos and so on and so forth. And so tonight, it's also a blessing for me to give you a gift and to present to you on behalf of Amazon Seller Tribe what you now know is the coveted Tribe Gold Lanyard. Woo-hoo-hoo. So I want you to reach if you can. And when you're going to have to keep pulling on that for a little while, because in about 2 days, it's actually going to be hanging around your neck. If Gay had remembered to get it in the mail soon enough, you'd be hanging around your neck right now. But in 2 days, this is going to be in your hands with your name on it. And we want to just welcome you to the $1 Million Sellers in Amazon Seller Tribe. Everybody give him a whoop, 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 whoop shout out. If you're live on Facebook now, you know, put your gifts in your celebrations, because Brandon is saying to you, if I can do this, you can do it. And Brandon, I love so much how your warrior spirit kicked in when right there during the pandemic, everything was kind of gloom and despair and agony on me on the news. You know, none of us knew whether or not we were going to get it and we were going to be the next to die. You closed down your warehouse, you closed down your operation, your Gaylords of boxes, and you pivoted. So powerful. You didn't quit. And it's that don't quit that's in you that really makes the win. I'm going to tell you this, Brandon. It's not going to be very much longer. And this gold lanyard, $1 million sales is all of a sudden going to be $10 million sales. I totally, completely believe that, because you do have the main ability that people have to learn, and that is to persevere, to have that grit, to pivot when you face those circumstances. And you've modeled that so well for us. You really have.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you, and I want to welcome you to Amazon Seller Tribe's big stage of, I don't know how many, we can't count them, and we couldn't even get them all up on stage, of our $1 million plus sellers. And Brenda, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that it's possible for Amazon Seller Tribe to help create the most 7-figure sellers in the industry?
There's no question. I think depends on how much capital you have to start with. But I think in a year or two, I mean, you could come in being green as you can be and get it in a year or two. I mean, it's just the numbers work, the system works. You just got to do it and
It
do
does.
it at scale, and that's it.
It does. It really does. You know, you've said a mouthful tonight, and I know that you have infused some people with encouragement. I appreciate you saying that part about where you were like, you know, when I see other people hit these sales figures, it kind of be discouraging to me, you know, oh, why wasn't it? But you didn't even take that as a quit. There was some place where it was actually, you reached into that encouragement and you were like, if they can do it, I can do it. And you took one more step, and that has made all the difference in the world to you and to your family. I am so excited for you. I really honestly believe there's going to come a day, and it's not very far in the future, that the 6-figure income you were enjoying in corporate America is going to be $1 million a year profit that you're going to be taking in, and you're going to lay that in your wife's lap and say, here's our net profit from this year. And she's going to say, thank you, baby. I'll take that over a 10-pound baby any day.
Right. Yeah, I believe it too. I mean, there's nothing else. There's no other industry that I know of that you can go from, you know, just your standard foundation, and you just hit that gas pedal, and it just, you know, like one day, I mean, we did a $30,000 day. I mean, my goodness, like from the day before we did like 3. You went from 3 to 30 in a day. Like there's nowhere else where you can just accelerate that. It's insane. It blows my mind.
I'm thinking about the G-forces that hit your face when you accelerate from 3,000 to 30,000. It must have been an awful lot like when I was in Gary's Corvette that time. And then he's just getting the engine warmed up, and I was like, and then he hit it, and I went, like this.
Yeah, that's exactly.
My face went straight back like this. So a $3,000 to a $30,000 day will do that to you. Brandon, we are so proud of you. We are so proud of you. I bet Robert Brown is shouting and cheering right now. I bet Nate Slusher is shouting and cheering right now, just to have had a moment with you and get to have a little piece of your journey and the success that you're creating. Appreciate you so much. I love how you love your wife, love how you love your children, and you're really working hard to make a good life for them. And at the end of the day, for us, that's really the measure of a man, isn't it?
I hope so.
It is. Well, is there one word of encouragement you might like to leave with Amazon sellers before we sign off tonight?
You know, as you grow, you're going to come across challenges that you haven't seen. You know, don't try to solve the problem before it's even a problem, because there's always going to be problems. So, you know, just take them in stride as they come along, but don't try to predict problems. Just do it and figure it out.
Come on, put your head down and go, right?
That's right.
Put the pedal to the metal. All right, appreciate your time today, Brandon. We're going to let you go so you can go hug those babies and help mom get him into bed. We love you and appreciate you. Look forward to the day I can meet your wife in person. In the meantime, I will satisfy myself with sending you your gold lanyard in the mail, and at next Tribe event, hopefully awarding it to you face to face. Love you.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Appreciate you so much, buddy.